What's going on, guys? No, just checking in. I wasn't going to make a video today, but I just read a message unlike any other message I've ever gotten, and it was a very simple message with a very simple question. But for whatever reason, no one's ever sent me a message asking me just this question, and it was one of those questions that just stopped me dead in my tracks. You read the title, there's no mystery. Someone just asked me if I was happy. They literally just wrote, "Are you happy?" Question mark. That's it. And normally when I get messages, people are a lot more detailed, and they usually don't ask me too much in the way of that. Sometimes they ask me for advice or philosophy or sharing, experiences, and then they share their story. So when I opened this message, that wasn't a comment again, it was a message, and it just asked me if I was happy. I just was like, whoa, I guess. I had to think about it. And I almost was thinking in my head, like, don't ask me that. Like, don't ask me that. Because I want it to be a really easy answer. I think anyone wants it to be an easy answer. Especially when you're someone who has a lot to be grateful for, and I do. So if the question had been, are you grateful? I could just say yes. Am I thankful? I could just say yes. Am I blessed? I could just say yes. But the question, are you happy, really took some mulling over. And I wanted to think about how I would respond, and I just couldn't think about it. So I did something a little unorthodox, especially over a word so simple. We think of happiness, I think a lot of us have our own ideas of what happiness means. Our perception of happiness, perhaps. Maybe it's more straightforward for you, but that shit's not that straightforward for me anymore. Not after what life has put me through, or maybe what I put myself through to a certain extent in terms of depression and anxiety. So I looked it up. I decided I would look it up. What is the definition of happy? And I wrote down a little sticky here. Happy, feeling or showing pleasure. So right away I was like, okay, well my answer is yes and no then, because I feel like I show pleasure more than I actually feel pleasure. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I've experienced happiness in short bursts, but I couldn't tell you with any confidence that I am happy in the grand scheme of things by the definition I just read there and by the one that's more like my head and my heart. I think I've experienced moments of happiness, but I don't think I'm consistently happy. And then I started backtracking in my mind. I'm like, is anyone ever consistently happy? But I feel like I once was. And I know people that I think are. One thing I do know is that people who don't know me would think I was very happy. I am stable enough and well enough, and I use those words because of my history of depression and anxiety. I'm stable enough and I'm well enough to come across happy and seem happy. And one thing is for sure, I am grateful. And I'm much less depressed and much less anxious than I've ever been since I had my breakdown 4 years ago. But am I happy? I don't think so. So I looked up synonyms. Just because I was curious. Cheerful. I can appear cheerful, and I can be cheerful even when I don't feel well. So I'm like, okay. Joyful. I can be joyful even when I don't feel that well. I know I can. Carefree. That was one of the synonyms for happy. It's like, nope, definitely not carefree by any stretch of the imagination. This last one really got me. Untroubled. I'm very troubled still. Whether it be from depression, anxiety, to learning how to live life sober, to dealing with life on life's terms. Maybe we're all troubled. I certainly don't think I'm unique, and I'm certainly very blessed. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that I could describe myself as happy in general someday. Anyway, maybe I'm overthinking this, but something tells me other people might have the same issue coming up with an answer if they're trying to be truly honest, which I always try to be. So, I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to ask you guys the exact same question. How do you respond if someone asks you, are you happy? And you're to be completely honest. I want to know. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know how you would answer that. And I hope you can be honest. And if you simply are happy, like I hope and I work very hard to be one day, and like I believe I can be one day, and when I use that again, I mean consider myself in general a happy person. Not do you experience moments of happiness, because I think I do experience moments of it, but you know, if you're one of those people that are happy in general, just write yes. Are you happy? Yes. But if it's a little more convoluted for you, like I feel like it is for me, why? And how do you answer? And does it kind of make you as sad as it made me to not be able to answer yes? Because it makes me sad. It does. It's just been a long time since I've considered myself happy, and maybe that's why. Long time. And the way this thing goes, you got to take it one day at a time, and you don't know when that's going to change. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.